There is a new AI tool on the block that is going completely viral. Some people say for the wrong reasons. I personally, as a marketer, think any reason to go viral in this space with a tool is the right reason. We're going to dive into that. We'll be kind of showing you both sides of the debate and talking about it. The tool is called Cluely, and their motto, their tagline is cheat on everything. So off to a good start. This is very interesting, essentially using AI to augment and help people, quote unquote, cheat on everything. I think they're trying to be dramatic and go for the shock factor there, but AI to augment things. All right, Connor, I got to kick this over to you. You've been talking a lot about this. What are your thoughts on Cluely and what they're doing?
Yeah, so with Cluely, it's funny. So first of all, Jaden, I'm with you. I mean, like, if you can go viral for like dumb reasons, go viral. Like people are like, oh, they're doing this for the wrong reasons. I'm like, man, they just dropped out of Columbia because I think they got suspended. They're university students. They raised 5.3 million. Now, this is not like when they say cheat on everything, they're just going viral because they knew people would be like, this is awesome. Now, of course, the video that Jaden is showing right now, it's super creepy and they wanted to go viral with this. It's like this guy wearing glasses and like learning about the woman across from him and saying all the right things or figuring out the right things to say or sound smart or interesting. Okay, look, that is totally creepy. Of course. But I want to kind of take it up a level and sort of think about this to the broader point. And Jaden, the reason is that when they say cheat on everything, if you actually dive into what they mean by that, I actually don't really have a problem with that. I mean, the people who are crushing them on Twitter and everything else are the ones saying, but this isn't what learning is all about. And why, oh, sure, like we're all going to be dumb now and all that sort of stuff. And all those arguments don't really hold up, in my opinion, because again, like, the calculator helped us out in this. And somebody was saying like, oh, but you don't even need to take care of your kids anymore. Why bother? Blah, blah. And like, yeah, because nannies can be helpful. Anyway, I guess my point here is because this comes up so much, Jaden, when I work with organizations, I get a question a lot around, is this cheating? And so I just
Yep.
want to sort of like define, separate between their marketing campaign in the same way you might separate between somebody's like online or, real persona versus their online persona or something like that. So with Cluely, look, it's really cool. It operates as this invisible in-browser assistant that can see your screen, hear your audio during live events like interviews and things like that. It provides AI generated answers in real time that are visible only to the user, and it said it's undetectable. And by the way, they prove this by actually getting jobs, like tech jobs with AWS and some other things. So clearly it works. Now, guys, here's the point that I want to sort of say: you could cheat in a million different ways on on exams and on everything else. What Cluely is actually doing is, I think, going to be a service, and I would not use it to cheat. And if you're cheating, then it's on you. But the bigger point, Jaden, I'll leave it at this, is that I get asked the question so much, well, isn't using AI cheating? And my point is, no. I mean, unless you actually
Yep.
literally are using it to cheat on a test and you're using it, in school when the teacher is actually asking to sort of see if you know how to write a paper on Hamlet and you use AI and you pretend it's you, that's a problem. But otherwise, guys, this is augmenting you. This is the tool that's out there. I'm talking about like large language models and everything else. And it looks like this is built on top of ChatGPT, I think. Anyway, Jaden, I don't know. Like, I don't have as much of a problem with it. I separate the marketing from the concept, and I think it's wildly different. And using large language models, to me, unless you're in school and you're doing it secretly, is not cheating.
Yeah. Okay, but I want to read the I guess like the argument against this, or like what people are saying,
Yeah.
the competing argument. I think it's interesting, and you can see where people are coming from on this, and I think a lot of people might have the same opinion. But okay, so there's a post by Abu Chan Life, and he says Columbia student is suspended over an AI cheating tool, and he just raised $5.3 million.
Yeah.
He said he's shocked that VCs are backing a controversial AI company like this. It helps you cheat in interviews, sales calls, exams, all hidden and undetectable. Okay, to your point, like, in my opinion, posts like this, like, there's a ton of them. I'm not just like, I didn't find like a random post. Like, the majority of the things I saw commenting on this video, by the way, and this tool and concept was like all negative. Like, everyone, tons of people being like,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. But like, at the end of the day, what does that mean to cheat on a sales call?
Right.
If I'm on a sales call and I'm trying to help you learn about my product, and it's bringing up like, oh, by the way, this person is really interested in XYZ thing, tie it into your product this way, is like, oh, that's cheating. Like you can't use that. It's like, that's a competitive advantage. That helps you close more sales calls. You're providing value. You're giving them information. You're making it more personalized to them. Like, so I think that it's very funny, because later on in this post where this person's kind of like bagging on the product or whatever, they, they're saying like his mission is to redefine cheating, and soon cheating might not even be called cheating. And it's like, it's like, it's so funny because it's
Yeah,
like
with you.
such a funny word. And I think especially when you think about it from an academic perspective, it's like getting information that you don't actually know, you're not supposed to know, and putting in a test of you. But like the thing is, in a sales call, it's not an actual test. The only test of a sales call is like, can you provide enough value that the person will pay you money? And if you actually are providing the value and you actually can deliver and they actually pay you the money and they're actually a happy customer, like, no cheating is going on in this,
Right.
in sales, in all sorts of different things and whatever. So
Right.
I do think that's interesting. A lot of people get mad about the interviews, which I
Yep.
understand as someone who's definitely had people using AI tools to help them assist for interviews that I was hiring for
Yep.
my company. So like, that's
Yep.
kind of funny, and I definitely get that as whatever. But I think there's so many use cases that this is actually perfect for, and super super interesting. The last thing, and this is maybe controversial, I would just want to bring it up and ask you, Connor, your thoughts on this. This might be the most controversial concept here with a tool like this. This person that's kind of digging on this, they said, I wouldn't trust a doctor using this, or anyone, but honestly, not sure anymore. LOL. Okay, when it comes to medical professionals, Connor, do you think this would be like, would you say this is something that would ruin your faith in medicine if, let's say, a doctor is wearing like a pair of glasses with these in, he's like examining your kid for something, and the glasses were like assisting him? Is that something that you'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe doctors are using that, I've lost faith in the medical system? What's your take on that?
It's such a good question, Jaden. And I think you may have like really hit it on the head, because I want everybody just out there in the sound of my voice to picture that moment for a second. You're there, the doctor puts on glasses. Let's say he doesn't disclose, right, that he's using AI, because it's totally different if he's like, hey, I would like, AI to sort of like assist. I think a lot of people would probably say like, yeah, of course. Because ultimately, let's say you have a choice of two doctors. One would never use AI and the other only uses AI. you know I it's this is where sort of rationality tends to leave us a little bit, because all the statistics tend to show that doctors who rely only on AI do much better than doctors who
Mm-hmm.
don't rely on AI, and or even doctors who just sort of like use AI but kind of like override that. So Jaden, I love the doctor example because it sort of goes to the heart of this cheating and goes to the heart of why people are so furious about this like cheating. It just feels like, oh, unfair advantage for people who use this. And I get it. But that's why that's why it goes viral in marketing. Things don't go viral in
Yes.
marketing unless you do something wacky and weird, right? So try to separate that part out from your brain. But the doctor thing, boy, oh boy, I would love people to sort of like think about that, and just come find us on LinkedIn, or on leave a comment or something like that here, because I think if I found out that the doctor was just using this. In fact, Jaden, I'll tell you this. I literally had this happen like 2 days ago, not with a doctor, but we have a vendor that we use for my
Yeah.
company, which is AI Mindset, and we're trying to get them to do something pretty complicated. And we're asking their customer support, and they're a small company, and the guy was writing back and was clearly ChatGPT, right? I mean, it was like all
Yeah.
the icons, the emojis, all that kind of stuff, and I got furious. But my colleague Robert Haslam, who's like the AI genius, he's like, "Why are you getting mad at that? Like, wouldn't you?" This is literally what we do at AI Mindset. We train big organizations on this. What are you getting so mad about? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, and I think it was because if this person just put it through ChatGPT, that's one thing. What I want is ChatGPT with quality control by somebody else. I think that's what I'm
Mm.
looking for. And so I don't know. I know we're getting kind of philosophical here, but it goes to the point of cheating. And so again, when I get asked this question all the time, isn't this cheating? What I say is, no, it's not cheating. Because if you're doing marketing and you're using this tool or something like that, Jaden, to your point about the sales call, no, because you're not getting graded on this. In an interview, yes, I think it's cheating in the same way that if you put something on your resume that wasn't true, I think that's cheating, and you're
Yeah.
misrepresenting
Totally.
yourself. I think that's criminal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Totally.
really, really unfair. It's taking
Misrepresenting your capabilities,
that's it,
100%.
misrepresenting your capabilities. But if you're using it to augment, then once you get that job,
Exactly.
and you're using it as a coder or almost anything else outside of school, where it is whatever you're doing is be graded and is testing your information, not the information that you can go get, and everybody else is expected not to use AI, yes, that's cheating. If you are working in a company and your boss says, I need the best thing possible, what if you had access to brilliant other humans and you asked them? Then was that cheating because your friends don't have access to those brilliant humans? And what if you had a better version of Google, and what if you had 50 people that you paid on the side to help? That's not cheating. It's just you getting the best product. Anyway,
Yep.
it's an interesting conversation.
No, 100%. I will say from my perspective, I would 100% rather a doctor use AI tools. I've seen
Yeah.
so many posts on Reddit and also X of people saying ChatGPT helped them solve like lifelong medical problems. There's one I was just reading a
Yes.
couple days ago where this guy, he said he had this like clicking in his jaw. He's had it for 5 years.
Yes.
And then he asked ChatGPT, he went to all these doctors. He had these like oral surgeons lined up that he was going to go to like in a week. He had all this crazy stuff. And then he said he asked ChatGPT about it. And it said, oh, you have, you probably dislocated it in this certain thing. To realign your jaw, open your mouth a certain way, rotate your jaw, put your tongue at the roof of your mouth and do it counterclockwise. And if you do it a certain way, it's going to click back in. He tried it. It clicked back in. He opens and closes his jaw. He said, no clicking. He's like, he's spent years and years going to surgeons and professionals and they couldn't find it. And I've also seen, I'm sure doctors out there will be mad by this, but it's kind of a joke, but I've seen posts on X where they're like, man, my mind was really blown when I realized that doctors are just, decision tree LLM on medical information that they're just like handing out to you, right? Like they just hear your problem and then they give you the solution and they send you to someone else who's going to give you the medicine and like whatever. And I think it gets to this point where, yes, I want like a very accomplished doctor that went to medical school and is like smart and stuff, but 100% there is no way everyone's heard the story and had a friend that has some sort of ailment and they went to 10 doctors, couldn't get it fixed. And maybe they did, or maybe they didn't find a miraculous like solution down the road, whatever. But like, that's just life. Like there's no way a doctor's brain can have every single solution to every single ailment in the entire like universe, like in the brain. Like, of course you want AI for a tool like that, but like you want a qualified medical professional that didn't use AI to, cheat on all their exams in medical school. I think that's completely different. Like you want that person to use AI. So when the AI gives them a response, they're like, oh, that's true because of like XYZ thing I already know and studied about, but they don't have to know the specifics of what everything, the solution to every single medical ailment. So I, for one, think that's important. I don't think that's cheating. I think that's what you want. And if you're a professional, the reason we bring this up is if you're a professional looking to apply AI into your career and you're like, oh no, will people be concerned that I'm cheating if I'm using AI for all of these XYZ purposes? Like if you're not inflating your capabilities and you're just using AI to augment what you're doing and people like the output better when you use AI, that is not cheating. That's augmenting. That's outsourcing. That's increasing your capacity. Your employer is going to be happy. Your business and your bottom line and your clients are going to be happier. So that is exactly the purpose of AI. And so I think something like Cluely is probably great for a lot of these use cases. And I personally am not even mad about their like marketing thing. I just think it's like funny. They did what they had to do. Like I understand the game. When you're trying to get a business off the ground, you do what you're going to do. They won the lottery because it went super viral and everyone that's mad is only going to make more people find out about them. So that's kind of the day and age with social media.
100%. If something is cheating, guys, then it's cheating. Again, in school or if you're misrepresenting or something like that. Otherwise, if you can use tools like Google and everything else, that's not cheating either. So anyway, I love this conversation, Jaden. It's so interesting. Remember to separate the marketing. Don't just sort of like read a headline and start going nuts on people and all that kind of stuff.
The last thing.
Yes, go on, Jaden.
The last thing I had to say, Connor, is
Yeah.
if you want to cheat in your own personal life and completely upgrade your capabilities with AI, the ultimate life hack and cheat is to get Connor's AI mindset course. You will feel like you are cheating every single day when you use all of the frameworks and strategies he goes over that you don't find anywhere else. This is an incredible course. There's a link in the description today to completely revolutionize the way you use AI. And seriously, if you're only going to get one AI course, this is 100% the one I would recommend. Connor has done a ton of work, a ton of research in how to use AI to actually change your behavior, the frameworks to use. So whenever a new model or tool comes out, it's not like his course is irrelevant. It's actually more important. These frameworks continue to help guide you through all of the changes happening in AI. So go check it out. It's an incredible course. Links in the description. Thanks so much for tuning into the podcast today. We hope that you all had a great time as we did, and we will catch you all in the next episode.